Thank you, Honorable Presiding Member.
Point of order. Yeah, Honorable Member, what is the point of order? Honorable Member Sumantharan has been asking from yesterday morning.
You can't be biased. How long did I ask you
I've
for the
been
speech?
instructed by the Secretary General.
No, the Secretary has no say. Secretary said it's always with you.
Honorable
independent
Sumantharan has
on
been
your
asking
chair.
from the morning,
Be independent.
and they are the second.
Be independent.
Yes, thank you.
Honorable Presiding Member.
Honorable Sumantharan, please continue.
Yeah, Honorable Harin Fernandez, I'm sorry if you were to speak next, but the tradition
Order,
is when
please.
the opposition.
Honorable Member, please give respect to the chair.
I will give respect to the chair, not to you.
The tradition is that the second largest party in the opposition gets to speak second in the opposition side. From morning, we have not got the opportunity. There is no logic in this, right? To have SJB speak every second time. SJB is not a privileged party in this house. We must have our turn properly. So I'm right. Thank you. So, Honorable Presiding Member, today we are discussing the situation in the country. What's the situation in the country? The situation in the country is that people can't live. People have no food to eat. People don't have fuel. Children can't go to school. If they have come onto the streets. That's the situation in the country. And then, in order to handle that situation, what has the government done? The government has resigned. All members of the cabinet have tendered their resignation. Now, what does that mean? That means that they accept that they are unable to govern the country. That is the only explanation that one can give for the members of the cabinet wholesale to have tendered their resignation. When that is the real situation, members in the government rows, one after another, are standing up and saying that they still have the mandate. They still have the mandate to govern. Why did you resign then? Why did you then resign? If you thought you still had the mandate of the people to govern, why did you wholesale in one letter resign from your portfolio? Now, having conceded that you have failed, you are now standing up here talking big. Country is in very serious crisis. You must go. And when I say you must go, the leader must go. I mean, if after all of these days you have not understood what the people are saying, if you think that by removing the Minister of Finance or a state minister tendering his resignation with effect from 1st of May or some other measure, that's not sufficient. We have serious issue with regard to the finances of the country. And after saying we will not go to the International Monetary Fund, you eventually caved in and you have gone. And yesterday, the IMF has issued a statement. I'm going to read it from the Reuters news report. It says, IMF staff is looking forward to program discussions with the authorities, including during the visit of the newly appointed finance minister to Washington later this month. Now, where is the newly appointed finance minister? I mean, the one most important post there must be in government today. If you are to deal with the situation out there, if you are to deal with the dollar crisis, if you are to deal with the escalating prices, if you are to deal with the shortage of food, the shortage of medicine, it is the Minister of Finance. And you don't have a Minister of Finance. You have decided to go to the IMF, but who is to go? Who is to go? Your secretary to the treasury has resigned. No minister, no secretary, no money in the treasury. You have brought this country to bankruptcy. That's what you have done. You have brought this country to bankruptcy. I'm reminded of something that I learned as to the word bankruptcy. When in ancient Greece, when there were lenders in the marketplace, they sat on benches, banku. In Sinhala, that's how the word came from that. Banku wala, vadivela idea. They lent, right? They lent more than they could actually afford. At the end of the day, if they did not have money to give back, people came, took that bench and broke it into two. Bancus raptus. Bancus raptus. That's why bankruptcy. That's bankruptcy. So people have now come to take your chair, your throne, what you thought the Rajapaksa throne, and they are breaking it into two. They are chasing you away from the government. So that trader, the banker, Bancus raptus, and he was chased away. That's what they are doing. Because you have made the country bankrupt. How did that happen? Yes, it happened over a long period of time. You borrowed, blindly borrowed to fight a war. You blindly borrowed to fight a war. Now, why did you have to fight a war? You had to fight a war because you did not keep your promises. If the Bandaranaike-Selvanayagam Pact had been implemented, if the Dudley-Selvanayagam Pact had been implemented, Tamil youth would not have taken up arms. You did not keep your promises, and that's why you had to fight a war. That's why you had to borrow so much. And now the time of repayment has come. But the last trigger, the trigger that sent you down the slippery slope from which you are unable to climb back up, happened in December 2019 when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa became president and wanted to hold a parliamentary election very soon. He thought, okay, with this wind, we will capture power, come into parliament as well, announced series of tax cuts, lowered the rates of VAT, increased the threshold for income tax, corporate tax, etc. Now, the analysis shows by that one act alone, 25% of the revenue to the country was lost.
Member, you have 2 more minutes.
Yes, thank you. 25% revenue was lost. What is worse, 33% of the taxpayers got out of the tax net. And that is how everybody reckoned that you will not be able to meet balance of payments. Your ratings dropped. And today at the Public Finance Committee, it was confirmed that in April 2020, we were shut out of the financial markets. We were blacklisted. 2 years ago, we were blacklisted. But you did not tell the people that. Your mismanagement, your keenness to win the election by giving freebies, sweeteners to the people, that caused it. Once you were shut out of the international financial markets, it was the slope from which you could never climb back. That's why the country is in this situation. At least now people have woken up. That's why they are saying, Gota, go home. That's why they are calling on the president to go. Because it was the act of the president that triggered this collapse. He must go. If this is a democratic country, if you have ears to hear, listen. If anyone in the government ranks, if you actually have ears, tell your president to go. The constitution has made provision when the president resigns, how the country will be governed. All that will happen. But until he goes, people will not relent. I can tell you that. This is not something that any political party has organized. And I must tell the chief of government whip not to try what President J.R. Jayawardena tried in 1983. Put the blame on the left forces of the country, driving them back into underground. That's what happened to the JVP, who had joined the mainstream by then. J.R. Jayawardena, President Jayawardena said Naxalite forces. Honorable Vasudeva Nanayakara went underground. Honorable Vijay Kumar Tunga was arrested. JVP went underground. Now today, this morning, in the chief government
Remember, please wind up.
I'm winding up. Tried that with the JVP. Please don't do that. No political party has done this. This is the people's movement. This is something unprecedented. This country has never seen this before. That is why you are shocked. This is happening organically. And people will not relent until Gota goes home. Thank you.